Hello friends, welcome to Go to the Creekside. Today we're going to have some fun on our weekly nursery tour because we got in some great plants today and I am excited to share them with you. Remember, we are a garden retail center. We are a grower retailer here in Dallas, North Carolina, Zone 7B. We are just west of Charlotte, North Carolina, very close to the South Carolina state line. And we are open for the season. We are now officially open Wednesdays through Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So if you want to come see us, we are only going to be open on Wednesday through Saturday. So, are we open on Sunday? No! Are we open on Monday? No! Tuesday? No! Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Yes, 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 yes. So come see us then. Those will be our hours from now until we close in the late fall, early winter. So come see us. We would love to see you. Weekly tours are when we show you real time what is happening here at the nursery. There is no way that I can cover every single plant because we just have so many, and these nursery tours would be hours upon hours of long. So just because you don't see something doesn't mean we don't have it. I am just trying to highlight maybe some of the things that look really good or we just got in or something that we haven't talked about here lately. So without further ado, we just got a beautiful shipment of plants, shrubs, and perennials from our friends over at Panoramic Farms here in North Carolina. They grow beautiful plants, and we got great things from them today. We have some things that we know tried and true are wonderful, like this Purple Daydream Pendulum. The Purple Daydream is, we've used this for many, many years. It is a very nice petite Pendulum. Pendulums are historically for the South only because they do love those warm temperatures. They are going to be hardy in zones 7 to 10 and 2 to 3 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide, in full sun to part shade. They are getting ready to bloom. They just have a couple of little buds on them, but Pendulums are a wonderful evergreen shrub that work really well for your foundation plantings and like in front of your house. About maybe once a year you want to give them a little haircut so they don't get so leggy, but that's just kind of the general thing for Pendulums, just to kind of keep them in shape. So we have Purple Daydreams. I know I've had some people ask me if we have them. We got them in, so there you go. Another one that we use a lot is the Abelias. Abelias are a wonderful, another southern shrub evergreen. This is Radiance, and Radiance has a beautiful variegated leaf to it. It is nice and green with those white margins on it. It is going to have it is evergreen. It does have white blooms in the summer, and it is going to be hardy in zones 6 and above, 3 feet tall, 4 feet wide. Again, another wonderful foundation planting for the front of your house or along your house. Pairs beautifully with those Purple Daydreams back there. So Abelias, wonderful for those. Pugster Blue butterfly bushes. If you have been around us for any length of time, you know that we adore these butterfly bushes from Proven Winners. Nice and petite is probably the smallest butterfly bush that I know of. Really nice, about a 2x2, but Pugster Blue for me is one of the absolute best of the series. Gorgeous, really rich. It's more of deep purple than it really is blue, but they call it blue, so we'll just go with that. And you can see they're flushing out new growth. If you have butterfly bushes at your house, you do want to prune them because they bloom on new growth. But Proven Winners especially recommends waiting until they start to flush out with new growth. I still have not pruned mine. I got a little too eager beaver last year and pruned mine early, and then we got a really cold snap and it like burnt them all the way to the ground, so I had to start all the way over. So I'm gonna hold off personally on trimming my butterfly bushes, but you do what you want to do. Just know that butterfly bushes bloom on new growth, so it is best to give them a little shape. Your pugsters, you're not gonna need to cut a whole bunch, just give them a little shape up and they'll be fine. Another fantastic evergreen shrub, because so many people are asking for great foundation plantings. Either they have a new build, or they're ripping out landscape, or they're creating new beds. These are all wonderful. Swing Low Distilleum. Distilleums, great, easy plant. Beautiful evergreen. Swing low is going to be wider than it is tall. In fact, it is going to be so full sun to part shade. Hardy in zones 7 and above. It is deer resistant, drought tolerant, and it's going to be 2 to 3 feet tall, but 4 to 6 feet wide. So if you've got an area that you need to fill in, maybe it's a bank, it's a slope, and you need like a shrub ground cover, this would be a fantastic one. It's not going to be invasive. Like a lot of people will use junipers on their banks and they just root and spread, and long term they can be problematic. Distilleum would be a great option for you because it covers a lot of space and it is very well behaved, shall we say. So this would be a beautiful option for you as well. All right, let's go back over here. We got some of the new, well, they're not new, they're relatively new. But anyway, I digress. This is gardenias. This is the Diamond Spire from Southern Living. And this is such a fun plant because it really is an upright gardenia. I have 2 of these growing in my patio and I love them. They have really unique foliage on them as far as like their leaves are very dark and glossy, and they have this, I don't even know how you would begin to explain it, but it's just a really unique leaf. Let's just say that. And also, I'm going to turn this around real quick because I want Jerry to show you this. There are buds all over this. So if you can get in there and see, those are flower buds. So it's really exciting. I see little flower buds all over the place. It is a single blooming gardenia. So as far as the flower, it's a single bloom, not a double bloom, but it smells just as gorgeous and as delicious as the other gardenias that we know and love. So it's really fun. People will put them in like containers and use them as like topiary kind of things because they're upright, underplant underneath them. I have them on our patio right before you go up the steps to the back porch, one on each side of the steps. Love them. This will be my 3rd or 4th year having them. Nice and big. They are gorgeous. So these are the new ones that we got in that are gorgeous. We also got in some beautiful sunshine Ligustrums. I mean, this is a beautiful plant. Our friends over at Panoramic did a gorgeous job of growing these sunshine Ligustrums. The sunshine Ligustrum, it may look like it is a deciduous shrub, but it is not. It is an evergreen, very soft, fine foliage. It is not prickly. It is very nice and soft. That's why I say if you look at it, you may think it's deciduous, but it's not. Lots of beautiful new growth on these beautiful things. The more sun you can give it, the better, because the more sun, they will be this really vibrant yellow chartreuse color. If you put it in the shade, it's still a great plant. It's just going to turn green. And sunshine Ligustrum, obviously with its name, you want that bright color to it. This is going to be hardy in zones 6 to 10. They can get 3 to 6 feet tall. That would not be, that would be like a crazy mature one, and if you never pruned it. We like to prune ours once a year, really about this time of year, to keep it nice and nice shape to it, so it won't get real open and spindly and yucky looking, and about 3 to 4 feet wide in the full to part sun. I would say at a minimum 5 hours. You need at least 5 hours or more for your sunshine Ligustrums to keep this beautiful color. But I was really impressed with how gorgeous those plants were that came in today. I think, is that all the shrubs down here, Jerry? I think it is, but we got a lot of fun perennials because they do a great job with their perennial program. Now, I'm going to tell you, we're under a little bit of construction right now, so please pardon the mess. We had to build some new tables because some of our other tables are like one of our first ones. They were just rotten and looking yucky. So we're in the process of getting them moved and the tabletops put on them. So just pardon the mess. Now, we actually had to put it in the greenhouse just because we're supposed to get storms and winds tonight, and we wanted to keep them nice and protected. We are so excited about this one, and Jenny may or may not have already grabbed one for herself. But look at these little Spanish lavender topiaries. Are they not the cutest little things? So this is, like I said, a Spanish lavender, Anouk, A-N-O-U-K, Spanish lavender. And it is getting ready to explode in flowers, but it is in that tree form, standard, topiary, whatever you want to call it, form. And this is going to be such a fun plant. It is going to just have loads of flowers on it, and it's going to give you that gorgeous color and texture throughout the entire growing season. I already told Jerry I think I have mine planned out for the house, because I grabbed mine and then I want to put it in a container. And then in the video we did just a couple of days ago about the new Proven Winter Annuals that are out that we're trialing, there's like a double white Super Bell. How pretty would that be underneath this lavender? I think that's what I might do. I'm gonna hold off just a little bit to make sure that the weather was cooperating, but really fun, really unique. Here's one that has the flower open. I think we have a bird stuck in here, or somebody's fussing. I don't know what's going on. Jerry, can you show them that flower? It's a really unique lavender flower. It's not what we maybe typically think of a lavender. Yep, we got two birds in here. Bless their little hearts. I hear them chirping. Yeah. But they'll go out. That's the thing with the greenhouse being with the doors open and the sides open. Have you ever had a bird stuck in your house before? We've had hummingbirds come in our house before, and even like a little wren one time, because you know, on these days that feel very spring-like, so we'll open up the house and it just feels great, and the next thing you know, there's a bird in your house. The trick we have learned is if you can turn out all the lights and then in your house, and then eventually, like obviously keep the doors and the windows open so if they want to go out. But when they realize that it's dark inside and it's lighter outside, then they'll go out the door. We've tried to get them with the broom, you know, like not whack them with the broom, but like let them sit on the broom. They don't typically like to do that. So that's what we'll do, is open up the greenhouse and let them, they may have already been gone. Anyway, we'll get them out of here. So moving on outside. We've talked about the annuals in here. So if you've not seen that, go check out the other video. I have it linked up above. But perennial salvias we have brought down from the production side of the nursery. So we've got those. So if you're looking for perennial salvias, it's the color spires like Indiglo Girl, which is a beautiful, nice dark indigo, like a purpley blue color, like that. This is one of my favorite ones of the perennials. These are hardy in zones 3 to 8, so extremely cold tolerant, beautiful foliage. Like I said, these have overwintered outside since last summer. They've been outside since last summer. So this is the natural foliage on them. They're nice and cold hardy, so if you are local and you want to buy some, like you can go ahead and stick these in the ground now. Other things that we got from Panoramic, gorgeous, big, huge Desert Plains grass. It's a 3 gallon. Typically, like when we grow it, we'll put it in a 1 gallon. These are nice 3 gallon size. So when these flush out, they're basically going to be mature size grasses. But the Desert Plains is a beautiful grass. You can already see it's got some new green growth popping out on it. It's going to be, I don't have a tag with it, and I can't think of the specs off the top of my head, roughly about a 3 foot by 3 foot tall and wide grass. Of course, it needs the full sun. Desert Plains, beautiful white plumes on it. So we've got that. Then we also have Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is brand new this year to the market. So it's just now coming out. But basically it's a 4x4, right? So 4 foot tall. I don't think it's 4 feet wide. It's taller than it is wide, but a beautiful, like a blue hue to it. Really excited about this one. I'm going to be getting some later on and adding them to the berm, so that will be fun. And then down here, these are all of our perennials that we were growing and bringing them down. This is the new Pinkaboo, and we've got honeybees already visiting these plants. I don't know if Jerry if they'll cooperate. They may be a little camera shy. But we brought these down, and so yeah, it's a pollinator attractor. We do have beehives on our property. Oh, somebody came to say hello. But the Pinkaboo is a wonderful shade perennial. The reason we have it out here in the full sun right now is because it's winter sun. They can handle it, and we're going to have some cooler temperatures, so they'll be okay. In a couple of weeks though, if these aren't sold by then, we'll have to move them to the pines. We also have the Heaven Scent that the honeybee is also visiting. Another beautiful shade perennial, gorgeous blue flowers, and this is what I would call like a true, it's got a little purple to it, but there is blue. Great, gorgeous perennial for your shade garden. If you're in more like in the cooler climates, because this will be hardy to zone 3, zones 3 to 7, then you can have the sun. But if you're in the south like I am, you're definitely want to have it in the full shade. So remember, I always tell you, the cooler you are, the more sun you can have. The warmer you are, the more shade you're probably going to need, especially when a plant is like that on the different zones. So we've got those, of course, hellebores and Lenten roses. We've got tons. We've got string theory, Amsonia. Somebody was asking me about if string theory was ready. Look at it. Look at all that beautiful new growth popping out. Really fun. And of course, Amsonia is an early spring bloomer. Beautiful blue flowers. It is a native plant. String theory is going to have obviously much more fine, variegated, that thread leaf, thread-like foliage, whatever it is, thread leaf foliage on it. And this is hardy in zones, reading upside down, 4 to 9. And then in the fall, it has great fall color to it as well. So let's move on over here, because Baptisia, you need Baptisia. We have got Baptisia, and we have got tons of different varieties. If you want a yellow, we've got lemon meringue and pink lemonade. If you want a creamy white, we've got vanilla cream. If you want to do blue, there's blue bubbly and blueberry sundae. Lots of beautiful different options for you in the Baptisia. I mean, we have got tons of them. They are a nice early spring bloomer. And then after they bloom in the spring, they bring you great structure because they have a very vase-like habit to them, and really fun, beautiful foliage. I've even had some folks say that they will use like the foliage in flower arranging because it's a great filler. Of course, you can use the flowers as well if you want. All right, moving on over here to the pines, because we've had some fun things arrive. We still have Edgeworthia. Edgeworthia is a wonderful shrub, paper bush, right? If you know that as. So we're getting kind of end of the bloom cycle, and the leaves are about to appear. Beautiful, delicious fragrance to them. Camellias, I just planted this April Tryst in the new area up there. Great japonica, beautiful double red, deep red flowers on it. It is stunning. Now, here is where we're gonna have some fun, my friends. All right, perennials. So this table are things that came from Panoramic. Eucharas, corabelles, great plant. Now, sometimes in the south, please ignore the cameraman. Sometimes in the south, eucharas can be really hard to grow because of our heat and humidity. We have found that the eucharas that are of the villosa species do the best, because that is a native species to the southeast. We have them growing on our creek bank. I didn't plant them. They are just a native plant. So Georgia peach, I mean, you can't get more southern than that. Look at that. This is a gorgeous red with a little bit of orange in there. Beautiful, beautiful plant. And especially you can see here, like when they're in mass, you can see how all those colors just erupt. Gorgeous, nice big leaves on them. So we have Georgia peach, and then we have caramel or caramel. That is for my pronunciation police. Yes, darling, depending on how you say it. Caramel or caramel. There you go. So this is a great euchera. Another one that is really, really good for the south. My mom has grown this for years and loves it. Just a beautiful plant. And that's the thing about the eucharas, is they come in so many different colors and sizes and like shapes of leaves. Like, you know, some are really small, some are really fat. So when you've got those shade to part shade areas, you can really have a lot of really fun colors and textures in there, just in like your eucharis. Gorgeous. Perennial grass. This is an evergreen perennial grass for the shade. This is Everillo, and it's a Carex, and it is that Evercolor Everillo. So gorgeous flower, listen to me, flowers, foliage on this plant. And you can see, obviously these are in 1 gallons, but imagine when they're nice and big and full, the color pop that they're gonna bring to your shade garden. And being an evergreen just makes it even more better, because even in winter, now is it going to be in all of its glory in the winter? No, none of us are in all of our glory in the winter, but you're going to have nice color and structure on this, and you're really not even going to have to prune it. If anything, at the, you know, once it starts to flush out, you can kind of bring your fingers through it and pull out the old foliage, but it will do great. Let's see, come on over here. We have got a couple of, y'all wiped us out last year from these gold heart, bleeding hearts. We're getting more in to grow, but look at that. And these have overwintered outside since, you know, last year. So this is just their natural growth. We did not spur them on. I mean, that is, here we are, the 1st of March, beginning of March, and you've got this beautiful plant. Mine in my garden are popping up. They're not quite as big as these guys are, but still super nice. My fern people, I have got ferns. Ostrich ferns are a great option for you if you have a historically wet, damp area in the shade and you wanted to get a great ground cover. Ostrich ferns will be fantastic. The wetter, the moister it is, the bigger they will be and the more rapidly they will naturalize. It is a fantastic plant to put along creek banks or ponds or just those, kind of those boggy areas, because it fills in, and they do, I mean, they'll be, when they're in all their glory, they'll be 3 feet, so they could be up to my hip. Gorgeous, beautiful fern. So this is a great one. We have some cinnamon ferns, and that's what's so fun about these ferns, right? Depends on the fern. So you have ostrich ferns that are nice and flushing out, and then the cinnamon ferns, you're like, where is it? Well, it's in there, I promise. But a cinnamon fern is very popular, but it's called a cinnamon fern because the bloom of it is a nice big kind of brown stick that looks like a cinnamon stick, but nice, beautiful green foliage on it. So we have those. Now would be a great time to get your ferns in the ground because they're very cold tolerant and they will get nice and settled in before the heat hits. We also have hostas. So we have a gazillion different kinds of hostas. We got some in from Panoramic to add in with ours. But you can see, I mean, they're starting to pop up again. This one was ours. That is just right. I mean, they're just coming up naturally. So if you're looking for hostas, we have them like guacamole. We've got beautiful guacamole right here. We've got praying hands, which is really fun. Lots of sum and substance. I mean, there's just so many different kinds of hostas. Just know that if you're looking for hostas, we have them. Again, it is the perfect time to get your hostas in the ground before the heat hits. And I think there's one more thing that I want to show you, because these were just exquisite from Panoramic. They did a gorgeous job. They have autumn ferns. Now, autumn ferns are a wonderful addition to your shade part sun area because they are evergreen. An evergreen fern that gives you beautiful structure year round. Obviously in the summer when you have that's when they're in all their glory, but even in the winter you still have, like I have some autumn ferns back here behind the log. So they have been, I mean, they've been in the ground for years now, and you can see while they're not huge and massive as they will be, you still have beautiful structure in there. So these autumn ferns are a wonderful option for you. They're not going to spread as far as like how the ostrich ferns will spread by rhizomes. Their mounds just get bigger every year. So if you need some evergreen structure in your shade garden, then I highly recommend these autumn ferns. And this is Brilliance, great one. The last thing I want to tell you, because I forgot we had these. Well, I didn't forget we had these. I forgot to tell them to you. Solomon seal. So if you've been to the nursery, especially in like early spring, early summer, all the time people ask us about the Solomon seal because I have it planted in the nursery. It's a common plant, like it's a non-branded plant, and you can get it, but sometimes it can be kind of challenging to get. Well, we have a beautiful stock of Solomon seal that came from Jenny's garden because mine just is really happy where it is. So we divided it, and in fact we did a video on it late summer, and so nice, beautiful, they're starting to come up, but they'll do beautiful, delicate, white bell-shaped flowers underneath it. So we have got tons of Solomon seal. So you're coming to the nursery in the next couple of weeks or months, we have got Solomon seal for you. It is right here, and I am so happy to see them coming up. A beautiful, more on the shade side, whether it's morning sun or even here at the nursery, they get late afternoon sun, and they're doing well. It was a little bit of an experiment, but they're doing great. Beautiful variegated foliage on it. So just know that we have the Solomon seal. It is like, it's not quite, it's like go time, but it's go time in the fact of like getting your shrubs in the ground, getting some perennials in the ground, trees. If you're looking to put trees in the ground, this is it. You want to get those babies in the ground before the main heat of the summer hits. Can you plant then? Yes, absolutely you can, but it's more work on you because you have to make sure and monitor them really well for all their water needs. So if you're looking to do some landscaping and to add some plants in, now is the time. As far as annuals, yes, we've got tons of annuals. I would still be quite leery. I'm not putting any annuals out, like my summer annuals, not for quite a while, even though I am very tempted to do it because, oh man, it's hard to resist those beautiful babes. But we have them, and so you're more than welcome to come look at them and see them, and if you have somewhere to keep them protected, go ahead and go for it. But yeah, come see us Wednesdays through Saturdays now till the late fall. We are excited to see you. Yeah, and we just appreciate you. Thank you so much for growing with Creekside. We'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, friends.